Our new song is available for pre-order at getcominghome.com. Check it out. Download iTunes to pre-order and support our work. We've got the story from the Post-Millennial. Trump to return to Butler Fairgrounds, where first assassination attempt occurred for October 5th rally. And that's big news, but I do have some concerns here. I'm worried about how they're going to need a wheelbarrow for Trump's nuts to, try and get him back on stage again. This guy's testosterone, and I'm waiting for all the left to lose their mind over me saying this. I think he's got a defect. He's got hypergonadism or something. Too much testosterone. Dude, you are nearly 80. They have tried to kill you twice, and he does not stop. I'm joking and intentionally being silly, but by all means, leftists, go ahead and run with those clips. Trump's brave. This is brave, and he's confident to come back to this place. To be fair, lightning ain't going to strike twice, but this is an open field, and that water tower, whether it's there's a conspiracy theory about it or not, whether it is involved or some people think there's a guy up there. I don't know about any of that stuff. There's still a serious vantage point. Trump is going out in the open once again to the same place. I think it sends a powerful, powerful message, and I respect it.
Sum it up, it's BDE in every sense of the word. And I think also, too, he is the move over 50 Cent. I think he is literally daring all these people who have quite literally wished death upon him, continue to wish death upon him. And you're talking about kind of this bureaucratic, dereliction of duty to protect the president. What we also saw yesterday was the DOJ, I believe, they released the letter that was talking about the bounty on his head ahead of this rally is absolutely insane. That was one of the stories where I was just like, it's becoming like you can't deny what you're seeing right now. This is I don't know. It's just negligence, but it's so negligent that I think we got to use a higher degree of language to start to describe it now. It seems like it's more than that.
What was the bounty on his head?
I think it's $150,000.
From who? What is this?
Nobody can
second
pay that.
assassination attempt.
Yeah, the second assassin put a box in some guy's house with a note in it that basically said, "World, I failed you," but he's offering up $150K to anybody else who would try and harm Trump. But ain't nobody's got that money, and it's not a real bounty.
Okay,
but Iran has that money.
Yeah, but is the presumption that this guy's going to get Iran to pay up?
I don't know.
The Iranian plot was $1 million. You don't need this guy's crackpot nonsense. So a lot of people are saying, why is the DOJ putting out this information, this bounty? I'm like, because it proves Trump is under threat of assassination, and it triggered the Democrats and the Republicans coming together unanimously to give more security to Donald Trump. A bunch of people were, for real, all over Twitter were saying, with the Covenant shooter, they wouldn't release the manifesto. They're putting a target on Trump's back. And I'm like, no, they just forced Democrats to fund Trump's security detail. I think that's a good thing.
But don't you think they could have done that in a classified briefing, though, with those members of the Appropriations Committee in the House and the Senate? And
yeah, but I think I overall think the publishing of that letter by the DOJ is good for Donald Trump, and it's good for the right, and it's bad for the Democrat narrative. They're trying to push the lie. So the Quinnipiac poll that came out the other day shows that 90% of Democrats fear violence after the election. Why do Democrats fear violence? It's Antifa and leftists who are engaged in the majority of it, because the media keeps screaming in their faces that the far-right neo-Nazis are coming for them. This narrative is being turned on its head because, in fact, it's now been repeatedly liberal-aligned individuals. That guy, the second assassin, had a Biden-Harris sticker on his car, on his truck or whatever. So this is flipping that narrative. I think it's good that we're getting the transparency. Now, I think it serves the interest of the DOJ for what I don't know. I'm not going to trust them. But I say take what you can get and maximize your opportunities. Use this as evidence of what we all know is true.
Yeah. I love that Trump is going back to Butler. I think that's really cool. And I also think it shows a level of authenticity and political messaging that his campaign is able to pull off that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz definitely can't, and Biden never could. I mean, think about Biden. The last time they tried to make Biden seem really tough and strong. To me, I think of that event he did in Philadelphia where he stood in front of the podium and then it was those crazy dictator lights behind him. Yeah. I mean, they tried to position him as this strong man, and he's really not. Whereas this is an example of true strength. Trump is returning to a place where something really awful happened. I mean, it wasn't just that he was shot; 2 other men in the crowd were shot, plus Corey Comprador lost his life. And he's saying I think this is symbolic of the energy that Americans are looking for in their candidates, that there is sort of I will not back down even when I have a lot to lose myself. So much of, I feel like the way a lot of politicians message right now is like, well, I'm afraid that it will upset my constituents. Oh, well, I'm afraid of this. And people don't want that.
I want to
also
go.
saying when you come for the king, you better not miss. And I think that's an incredible thing to see. And I think he's actually just living out the words that he said when he was lifted, when he stood up off the ground in Butler before. He's going to continue to fight, fight, fight. And I think that type of energy is infectious, especially when you have, I really believe that the attempts of that the left is making to kill this man are not just to actually end his life, but to actually scare people away from his rallies, scare people away from his events, to create this idea that people are running away from Trump, that they're running away from supporting his campaign, when that's actually not true. I think his base is extremely fired up. Everywhere you go, you hear people saying, I'm going to vote for the one that they keep trying to kill, and rightfully so, because why are all these people trying to kill this man? Because he represents the gravest threat to the deep state and everything they believe and everything they stand for, which is diametrically opposed to the interests of the American people.
I want to go to the rally.
I do too. I think we should.
You're braver than me.
I mean, I feel like this is probably the safest place imaginable. If anything were to happen at this rally, actually, maybe I take that back. I don't know if there are powerful interests that want to see the United States fall. I would not be surprised considering the policies they put in place and the way they spend money. So maybe they do want chaos, but I don't know, man. If Trump's going to be there, why wouldn't anybody else? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's on a Saturday, right?
I think it's on a Saturday.
Is this the same venue as well?
I'm Butler Fairgrounds.
Okay, wow.
He's going back. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be the biggest rally he's ever done.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will travel to it because, again, it's this retaking of something that could have been awful. It was awful already, but it could have been catastrophic. And he is saying, like, we won't back down. And I think that feeds, again, he is more authentically able to pull off this courageous, like, we are going to face hard things as a country and overcome them energy that, again, Americans want right now. Kamala Harris will tell you every day, like, I'm going to have an opportunity economy and hope and change and whatever else. But she's lying to you. I mean, she's part of the current administration that is leaving a lot of Americans economically devastated. She's not acknowledging the problems at the border. She flip-flops on every issue. And sort of to your point, she took time out of her debate when she should have been presenting herself as someone with specific and thought out policies to the American voters. To say, well, people don't even go to Trump's rallies. People leave them. They don't even want to be there. When everyone knows that's not true.
I think this is going to be historic. Yeah. Now, I don't know, because I don't want to make any kind of grandiose predictions, but I have to imagine this is the rally to be at. If you've ever been to a rally, if you've never been to a rally, this is the rally you want to go to.
There's another big one coming up on the 29th. You guys was Restore the Republic or something?
Oh, yeah, that's not Trump, though.
No, it's just another...
It's like Russell Brand and like Angela McArdle.
Like an A...
Is Tucker there?
I think so, yeah. He shared it yesterday.
What's it called?
Restore the Republic, or something like that, Restore the Republic?
Something about the Republic.
Brett Weinstein's there?
Yeah.
In September 29th or October?
Yeah, coming
it's
up.
Kind of like a coalition rally of people from different aspects of reality coming.
Well, it's the disaffected liberals mostly. Coming with some conservatives, talk about I think, is RFK Jr. going to be there? But this Butler rally, I think, has the potential to be something that will be written down in the history books.
So they're going to be big. Like, this has never before happened, right?
Well, I mean, just think about what history would write of this election cycle. Donald Trump is shot in the side of the head. And look, I always talk about how history is condensed. When you're reading about history, the battle at Fort Sumter, and then that led to the Battle of Manassas. It's like, whoa, how long apart was that? It wasn't like 5 minutes later they all ran up to D.C. and they were getting ready for war. Probably there was a period of calm and people didn't think it was going to happen. They're going to write in the history books, they're going to say, in July 13th, 2024, a gunman struck, Donald Trump in the side of the head. He would later go on to return to the rally for a historic moment on October 5th, and you will read that in one paragraph.
When Teddy Roosevelt got shot during giving a speech, he just finished the speech. That's the story he tells. Did they catch the guy that shot him, and that's why he wasn't taken off stage? They knew that the would-be assassin was handled.
Yeah,
when
I think that's what happened.
When Trump got back up and put his hand in the air, I think that was very stupid. Like, sometimes bravery and stupidity go hand in hand, and then you lose your commander. Your brave commander's gone because he was too stupid. Like, there could have been other gunmen. That could have been the last moment of his life. Like, it was brave, yes, but like, you have to balance bravery with intelligence. And like, there are times when you retreat, as a brave man, and it's called a tactical retreat because you can reposition to come back into the situation.
Ian,
I'm very
I have a
concerned.
question for you.
Yeah, please.
I'd like you to imagine a bunch of, let's just say, elvish riders, and they're standing in the fields charging towards the orcs. And their leader, seeing them be outflanked and their numbers being decimated, knows that he needs to lead one last charge, for if the orcs go forth, they will destroy their homeland of Elftown or whatever.
Like 300.
And so the leader raises the flag and runs full speed towards an entire army, knowing he may not make it, but the people need to see that their leader is standing on the front line in the face of danger, refusing to back down. So I hear this from people like, anybody who stands up when they're getting shot at is a moron. Trump's a leader. I don't think Trump is a moron. I think Trump's instinct is to stand up and raise his fist in the face of mortal danger and yell, fight. Trump is, as silly as it sounds, because he does not present this as this reality TV comedy guy. Like, if you watch the old commercials he's in, eating pizza backwards or whatever, he gets shot in the side of the head. And his instinct was that of what we expect from actual leaders, to charge. And I got to be honest, a king who needs to lead his country, deciding to go in the front of his battalion and lead a charge into enemy ranks, sounds like a moron, doesn't he? And we praise that behavior. We say that's bravery.
King Alexander the Great was known for that. He led the cavalry on the left.
Isn't that stupid? You're charging into an army with no... are you nuts?
It depends, man. If they survive, they're always called heroes. If they die, they're forgotten usually.
And Donald Trump stood up after getting shot in the side of the head and decided he was going to yell, fight, fight, fight. Instead, you know what they wanted? What they would have loved, and I say they, the people who hate him and want to see him harmed, they wanted to see him crouch down, panic, and frantically run in a random direction, and they would have put that on TV and said, what a scared, weak man.
You can't really pin that on Trump because that was the Secret Service's job, was to hold him down, even though his instinct is to get up to stop him from doing it, because we know you want to get up, Don. We know you want to be the leader in the front, but there are times when it's too dangerous, and we have to protect you from your own ego, but they didn't do it. They failed. They failed in their job.
I will reiterate. I think Trump showed leadership qualities when he stood up and yelled, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah. And I think the president knew the gravity of that moment, right? That someone, we didn't know who at the time, had tried to put a bullet into the heart of the MAGA movement. And I think he knew that he had to stand up and as you said, reaffirm the crowd, reaffirm those who were watching. I remember when I saw it on Twitter, I didn't believe that it happened. I thought it was fake. I was like, there's no way this could happen in 2024 with the level of security that I thought we enjoyed, especially at those rallies. But for him to get up, it's just so classically Trump, but also so inhuman. Who would ever think to do something like that? I don't know. He's in a league of his own.
I'd love to ask him about it because I genuinely wonder. The first thing he says is, let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Yeah.
That's where I could get Ian being like, okay, buddy, we can leave the shoes behind. That's not the security, but it's so funny.
Dragged him off.
But it's an instinctual reaction. I've been in a lot of situations that were extremely dangerous. I've been shot at. Now, I don't want to say that someone was pointing the gun at me to shoot me. I was in a crowd in Ferguson, and they were shooting in the direction of me and several other people. We all hit the deck. And in that moment, you can hear bullets flying, and I was panicking. And I know how to handle these situations. And this is all live. It's on Vice's YouTube. You can watch the live stream as I'm getting shot at, and I run, through tear gas. I do not believe I could handle it the same way Trump would, where he knows he's got all of the people who believe in him standing beside him. And his gut reaction first was, let me get my shoes. But then he stands up and says, fight, fight, fight. For me, I ran. I ran away. I was like, I'm being shot at. What do I do? Other journalists run towards the bullets. Yeah. I'm not going to pretend like I'm as better than they are, smarter than I don't know. I tell you what I did. I think Donald Trump did what a leader needs to do and show defiance in the face of danger.
He wanted to let the people know he was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think even the let me get my shoes thing is sort of speaking to the I am going to leave this stage with composure and with dignity to show everyone that this did not rattle me. I am bigger than this, which is fascinating. To be shot and then think, everyone here needs me to be strong. It's like an instinctive reaction. And again, this is what I think Americans crave in leadership right now. Someone who is thinking, how can I best serve you? And I think really that's what Trump did in that moment.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.